So I do want to preface by saying first day was May 17th and today is May 21st. I want to make sure I'm 100% correct. My first day, a whopping 5 days ago, February 16th. So I worked the 16th, 17th, 18th, and the 19th. And then yesterday, the 20th, I was off. I was doing some stuff today on the 21st, preparing some stuff going based off of memory because I had shadowed some people, and this was the first day where I was somewhat kind of by myself. And I was bringing stuff out to the front. Then at some point, like one of the one junior manager was asking me what happened because I forgot some stuff while I was preparing. I forgot to take out some frozen stuff to thaw out. She was telling me that she wanted a lot more stuff to be out, and she specifically uses the word upset. Like, if you don't do this, this, and this, people will be upset. She did want someone around me, but like two managers that were above her wanted me to do it myself. So I was like, take the initiative. I was just doing it myself, and I was just constantly moving. And she was like talking kind of loud, like people could hear, and she was like in front of me. And then I was actually, as she was explaining stuff to me, I was actually like, I was looking at her like this. I was looking at her like that. And I was like pointing around and like showing her different stuff. And at some point I did tell her that I was busy doing stuff. Like, even though I did forget some stuff, I was constantly working. And then at some point, the main thing I had an issue with was she said she thought that I was moving slow. So after that conversation, I was certain that I wasn't moving slow. I did feel like I was moving fast, if not faster than some of the others who have been there way longer. So anyway, I suggested that this manager C would have somebody write it down, the specific amount of stuff that they want me to get out, so that I know at the beginning of the day, because I'm still like remembering stuff. And she said that somebody will be able to help me tomorrow. She said, I'm not going to tell you her name because you'll forget. And I did take that personally because I thought she was telling me, oh, you're going to forget her name just like you forget other stuff. So I was like, you can't just tell me her name now. And she was like I said, I'll tell you tomorrow because I don't want you to forget like everyone else. And then when she said like everyone else, then I was like, oh, okay. So I guess it's not like a personal thing. And yeah, I did make it clear. I did point out that I was constantly doing stuff. I was never just standing around doing nothing. So yeah, that was the main issue when she said, I think you were kind of moving slow. So, but I knew that I was not. I never felt like that. And I honestly, I don't genuinely think that would be a good assessment of how I was today. So, and yeah, I was doing a myriad of different things, yes, but, and I did forget some stuff, but I was also not going slower than I should have. So then I eventually realized, and she said she'll introduce me to this person tomorrow. And I was like, oh no, I'm off tomorrow. And then she said, no, you're not. And then I was like, yeah, I can read my schedule. I'm off tomorrow. And then the conversation was over. And then I went to, at first I was prepping and then I got sent to do dishes. So when I was going on break, I was like, am I going at a good, I was like being sarcastic. Do you think I'm going at a good speed? Because you said I was going slow today. And she was like, no, I was talking about prep. When I was going to break, I stopped manager. So this whole time I was only talking to manager C. And there are two managers who are above her, who are like a lot older. Manager C was probably in her late 20s, maybe, possibly. And there's two other female managers who are much older. So I go to manager B and I tell her that, what is manager C's name? Because I don't want to be disrespectful at all. I'm not going to call people out of their name. So I asked manager B, what's her name? And then I described the color shirt she was wearing. And then I was like, yeah, she said I was going slow. And she had no right to say that to me. Do you think I was going slow? And manager B was like, no. Keep in mind, my first day was, my first like physical paid working day was the 16th. So I haven't even been here for a full week on like a calendar. And so manager B didn't think I was like going slow or anything. Then I spoke to manager A, and manager A was like, she was talking about manager C. Manager A was like, not to talk bad about her, but she's really negative. And manager A was like, if you're not Johnny on the spot, then she's going to say you're moving slow. Oh, those other ladies that work around you, they've been there for so much longer. So then what I actually did, because I actually went, when I was done with break, I actually pulled manager C to the side. The one who like caused like a mini scene was talking really loud in front of me. And I was like trying to explain stuff, and and sort of I felt like she was trying to put me in my place, so to speak, to be like, and she was talking loud, and I was trying to be like, I know some of the stuff, but this is like, so I pulled manager C to the side when I got back off from break, and I was like, okay, so the two other managers agreed. They said I was going just as fast as everyone else. So then I turned around and just walked away. I could feel her still staring at me. I think I threw something in the trash while I was walking away, and I just went back to break. And then we were just smiling. Then I started talking to another manager who walked in. Like, I forgot his name, so he looked at manager C, who I had just spoken to, and this guy was like saying that I forgot his name. So, and manager C was over there. We were all just laughing after that. But yeah, I've learned to like be less passive and just more assertive. Just, I feel like this manager who's at like out of the three that was there up until that point, she was like the lowest on the pecking order. And I feel like what I did was I let her know, oh, this guy's going to be a problem if I try and get at him a certain way, or this or that. Mind you, I was not working here 7 days ago. 7. The learning curve is what, 60, 90 days? It's like, because I've never been in a station that a supervisor did not know I was in. I've always honored the time. I always come to work on time. I get off breaks on time, right? The break is 30 minutes, but I can like get off at 25 minutes or 35 minutes at the most. And if I have to go take a leak or drink some water, I'm always back in no more than 5 minutes. And I've never had, when I am on company time, I'm never just standing around doing nothing, because they have cameras everywhere. And nobody's ever walked up to me and said, what are you supposed to be doing? Because I was always doing something. I'm always actively doing something. So nobody's going to look at that and be like, oh, this guy's a net negative to the company. You know, I definitely don't have an apologetic position as far as this goes. So I'm never going to be like on my knees like begging to be spared or something. I don't see myself as being on thin ice, so to speak, because like I just remember what I can, and I'm like super new here, and the two higher up female managers knew that, but manager C was like, I guess, more stressed out, and yeah, manager A told me that manager C was like more negative. So the funny thing is, manager C, who I had that exchange with, and I felt like I got back on her, she actually came back to me several hours later and said, you're off tomorrow, which is what I already told her, but she didn't believe me when I initially told her. But see, I read my schedule ahead of time. I read it every night to make sure I get up and stuff like that, just to organize stuff. Nothing has motivated me to go harder on social media than the experience of having like a normal job again. Not only because I have that type of consistency, which thus bleeds into other areas of life, but also so that I can stop doing it one day. Like, I feel like I'm one of those people who just likes working, like laying down brick by brick, not skipping too much. I've developed a more careful mindset. So I feel like when I make a little bit of money on social media, I'm still going to be working a normal job well into that. Not just the moment I make money, I'm going to jump ship. Like, no, I like to be like a lot more cautious than I was in my teens, at least. Like in the past week, I've already like gotten started on like multiple different things, at least materializing that first step. Like, I've created the first tiny little, at least one line of song, of like sound for like more than 5 different songs probably that I have like planned out. I'm just trying to like, man, I know people make good money on social media. I would just like to, man, before quitting, just work less and less and less, and just have more free time to myself. So yeah, I was supposed to get off at 4, but labor was high, so I was let off at 2:30, and I was actually washing dishes, and I had another guy who was letting me know I should be done by now at a certain point, which I was fine, I'll take that. But now what manager C said, I wasn't going to take that lying down. But this guy who came to me while I was washing dishes, he was not a manager, but he was training to be a manager. But and then manager A, who was like on my side, she came to me and like let me know, just make sure you do this, this, and this so you can be done. Yeah, she was super nice about it. She was like understanding about it. So yeah, I feel like the reason I left at 2:30 anyway was because I took like a longer time doing dishes. So that's fun stuff. Yeah, so this did have a good ending. So I think manager C is going to be like a lot less keen on interacting with me a certain way from here on out, because she knows, oh, he's going to pose a problem. He's going to like stand up. He's going to. I just felt like walking up and telling her what the two bigger managers were on my side. I just made it like very clear to her. It's like no, I feel like I've actually never done that at a job before, but it's like you have to. I feel like working more in the like independent / gig spaces has like made me think more for myself in a very good way. Not to the point where it goes into selfish territory, but hey, you gotta be selfish. I mean, I'm looking out for a way that I can make enough money to just like stop working for other companies, and that could be seen as selfish. So yeah, didn't mean to take too much of your guys' time. Holy fuck, my arms are veiny as hell. I have been lifting a good amount more, so there's something. My arms did not look like this a short while ago. Holy crap. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Don't be punked anymore. Like, I'm not gonna be punked anymore. The only way someone can bully me is if they have no consequences, and this is the one time in a long time now that I have a normal job again where somebody's like communicating to me in just a certain type of way. This person was not understanding that, hey, I'm a new person. I'm going to forget to put the exact amount of stuff. Even if somebody shows me, it's still my first week. So yeah, you have to bring consequences on people who rank higher if they do something that is uncouth, or yeah, just be, I'm just always going to be totally respectful and keep it totally professional, but I feel like nowadays I will set something forth and like go out of my way to let somebody know, hey, one coworker like several years ago in 2020, early 2020, who was like, he was cussing and he was like, you have to effing do this, this, and this. And then he walked, and then I brought the manager to the side, and the manager was telling me I did stuff the right way, but I didn't actually confront that coworker because I was still a teenager. I was 19, so yeah, good stuff. I'll see you guys later. Namaste. It's like you're acting like I'm like the worst employee in the world because for context, I got like every ingredient out except 2 types of bread that I was supposed to get out, and that was the only thing I forgot. But I got everything else out, but it wasn't the right amount. I had to get way more out, but I forgot to get the exact quantities out because it's different numbers for different stuff. So for you to act like I'm the worst employee that you've ever seen in your conceivable life, and I've been here for a week, coming to work all the time, coming back, not leaving my workstation for more than 5 minutes at a time, restroom, water, and stuff like that, coming back from breaks when I'm supposed to, not overstaying my breaks, and always doing something every second that I'm clocked in. And you're acting like this is the worst thing you've ever seen in the world, and like you don't have to make it look as bad as, I know it's not as bad as you make it out to be. So yeah, this one person that was a manager in training, I was like, no, I'm going to tell you to your face that like the 2 older managers who outrank you are like who can override your decisions like they did earlier today when they decided to have me work alone without a shadow. Manager C wanted me to get help, but I didn't. But even still, it wasn't right for Manager C to be like upset. So for you to act like that towards me, when I'm at the same time I overhear conversations of people doing a no-call, no-show and getting written up, it's just insane. Like, if I'm perfect attendance and all this other stuff in my first week, and it's not, and I forget a few stuff and it's not good enough, shit, fire all your employees. Cause like who, like, am I ahead of the learning curve or am I behind? Do you really believe that I'm like, that this is like below expectations? Like I'm already like able to like conceptualize most of this stuff. Just like give me something to write it down on. So yeah, like I'm gonna come and tell you, and you're gonna feel that, and you're going to like know that it's like, oh, this guy's gonna tell something to me straight up to my face, cause I will, right? I developed that mindset while I was working other odd stuff for years, because I've now gone years without having a manager overseeing me. So, and now I just have a new type of spunk about me, where it's like, no, you don't. Like back then I would never have told her to her face, and even on a lower level, I would not have even looked at them a certain way. I was actually, when she was talking to me, she was trying to talk kind of loud, getting attention. I was looking at her like this. So I was looking at her like this, and people who were looking at us could see me, that I was like not backing down. I was not cowering away, and I will be sure to like, bro, I have that mindset of like, after working like not normal jobs for years, now I have that mindset where now I see that the manager is not everything. The manager is not God, because I've seen so many other aspects of like business. So, and they have some stuff to lose. I'm not gonna beg as if I bring nothing to the company and you guys are doing me a favor. Don't get me wrong, I'm lucky to work. I'm very fortunate to work like in these days. And I got hired super quickly because I'm super available and stuff like that. So yeah, and manager A and B are the ones I have good standing with. Manager B called me yesterday when I was on a day off and asked me if I could come in. Normally I start at 8 a.m. I said the earliest I can come in is 11, and then she was like, oh no, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt what you had planned, sweetheart. So yeah, those two ladies are very wonderful. This has nothing to do with it, but the two older managers are both white, and I was typing something in my phone. It was like, I love older women, especially white. Like, no, this was before I even went to work today. And manager C was Latina, the younger one, who was like trying to get at me but failed. So yeah, I started at 8 a.m. You can see I typed it. It says like, that's the funny part. It says like 7:02 a.m. Women over 30, especially white. They were both like over 40 or over 50. The ones who like me. So good stuff. Yeah, nice. What's helped me the best in like becoming more brave, more outgoing is like, at least in the business world, is like me having to exist for what's it called? For without any form of supervisor, manager, or anything adjacent to that in any way, shape, form, or fashion, for give or take 3.5 years ish, me having to exist, like living, like working full time. I would work 12-hour shift on Monday, 12-hour shift on Tuesday. Or another week I would work 10 hours on Wednesday, then work another 10-hour shift on Friday. This is all throughout as I started taking on longer shifts. This was in the past few years. In this era where I was getting used to not having somebody overseeing me. So I've learned how to exist consistently without the watchful eye of a manager. I've been outside of their influence, unaffected by their machinations for this stretch of time. So I'm now more willing to stand up because I don't see it as like this infinite, watchful, eternal eye. Like I used to back before when I was just working normal jobs mostly. I've been making money since I was like a little kid. I've made my first money online when I was like 15-ish, but it was never much. But as I got accustomed to like normal jobs, when managers would say something, I would absolutely revere everything they said and stuff like that. And one of the worst things ever would be to like have a manager say you did something wrong, because I never even thought about like disputing that. So yeah, I'd rather be like a careful idiot than a than like an educated fool. I don't know. It's somebody who like knows a lot and is very proud of themselves. It's like I'm just gonna I don't know everything, but I'll constantly be careful. Which is why I don't want to depend on one thing for like my income. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are taller than me and more muscular than me and have deal with way more money than I've ever dealt with in all my life combined. Right? There's some people who I know my whole life entirely, but them they deal with the people they deal with on camera. Like, let's say they're popular with women on camera. The amount they deal with on camera is more than my real life and my online presence combined. So like I have zero women who show me like active romantic interest, but like on purpose. And like I feel like with the stresses of like work and stuff like that, I've just learned to be more chill, and I actually like don't I feel like that stuff is coming. That's like one of the best things ever. I just don't feel like rushing as much stuff. I just feel like the money's coming. Like man, like everything I want is coming. So it's like I'm just less worried about stuff, and I don't have as much fear about confronting people about stuff. So whereas back then I used to, in 2021, before I really got into the self-employed groove, I was so worried about stuff, and it would make me like, it would shut down my ability to get to something. I'm going on a tangent.